Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I do know that many of you, especially living in Selangor, it's a public holiday, but again, the stock market is still open, but relatively quiet, despite one of the biggest economy for the state, which is Selangor, contributing to much of the Bursa that we see. But it's pretty quiet today, but let's see what the market has to offer, right? But because this morning, we will be talking about the US market. Now that's right. So this week is the US market. As I said before in here, it's going to be slightly different, and it is the second week of the month, which is the Monday, and we'll be talking about the US market. So you can see from the slide that we have, let me just move it to a bigger slide here. You can see switch to 1 month chart in here. The S&P chart has been moving up nicely in here and finally breaking the 4,600 mark, which is what was important to see how this market were able to move forward. So as such, this morning we'll be looking at the agenda, and right now the US market is breaking into a new high. And guess what? Many of you may not know, it is the middle of the December Christmas rally already, right? It is what we see right now. We don't need to wait until next week or end of next week for the Christmas rally. But do take note, the green pentagon has been up 27 bars, almost 40 over days, which means 1.5 months. You can see from here, switching to a 3-month chart just on top of me here, right? And now what's really been happening is the biggest longest bull run that we've seen, and green pentagon really pick it up nicely. I can see from here, switching to the wider chart, right? And when did it first pick it up? Yep, 1st of November, right? Inform you early. No doubt the market did a very nice wash in here on the expectation, which we'll talk about the inflation, a little bit of inflation expectation to be cut in the first quarter of 2024. So we're going to look at some of the hot sectors and also the Robbie FA stock, as well as the stage 2 shares, the review of the stage 2 shares, which I feel that kind of important in the matter of some of our member, right? And they would like to see some sort of a trend going into. So we want to look at the stage 2 shares and also the stock Robbie FA collection. And of course, the SmartRobie US is powered by the Pentagon Guider in here. And all right, so today, one of the lessons learned we want to talk about, switching to a wider chart here, is Raku. All right, now if you look at the chart here, one of the S&P 500 champion, when it came out, it actually did what we saw earlier, just on top of me here. That was a wash, right? You can see here, and just on top of my head here, and this wash is the one similarly to the market, because they were talking about how the market was going to go low. But I did mention, especially in the Wednesday live FB, that all this were part of the October down market, and October down market, and then November came as clockwise. The seasonality of the US market was pretty predictable in here. The November and the December month, the market did run higher in here. Now, some of the technology stock, as you can see here, Roku, part of the Nasdaq, has turned red pentagon. Is it possible that the technology has run ahead of itself? You may also notice only few of the big mega stock like Apple and I think Tesla are still in green pentagon, right? Microsoft has turned red pentagon, and pretty much of the remaining has turned green pentagon in here. But the remaining of the S&P 500 has run nicely, as you can see in here. So the total story is that there were a lot of push in the month of October. You can see here the push and the upthrust, which is a sign of weakness. We got sell-off, UT, and then finally the break. And then just come first week of November, just like the clockwork, the market started to push up, a gap up, and the market just run up in here. And that was, how many percent return is that? A 79% return for Roku, from the low base of the green pentagon in here. Pretty nice one. So let's look at the news that drive the market that we've seen so far. Two main news. One is the Christmas rally. It did have a nice Thanksgiving, right? We thought there was a pullback for the Thanksgiving. It didn't come, but instead it did push higher, pause for 1 or 2 days, and then now right now the Christmas is starting to pick up. So if the beginners and also members of the SmartRobie, especially in the context of the US market, if you are looking in the US market right now, it is a time for the rally in here. And one of the reasons that really drive this, let me just switch on to my laser pointer here, is the stock can top all-time high. Partly this is due to the fourth quarter earnings, right? Now a lot of fourth quarter earnings has been very good, and remember, a lot of people always say, how can you buy a stock that is so high? It's already so high, right? But remember, the sales and the continuation of the market expansion as well as profit margin continue to improve under the context of AI. Right now with the AI, as I said before previously, many of these AI driven in here, they has cut down the need of human and also labor costs. So a lot of the labor costs in AI has improved the productivity of this company, in turn improve the margin. That's why we see a lot of this US market go. Of course, on the backdrop, they are talking about possible recession, which I don't see right now. This recession is like what we call the boogeyman. In John Wick, always come and haunt you, but is it there for sure? So depending who you listen to, now if you've been following me and my program, something I've been talking about, I've been very strong and bullish in this market, so you're able to see forward. Now if you like what we watched so far, give us a thumbs up in here, and we continue to work harder to bring you good educational content. Alright, now let's take a look at the last 3 months in terms of the context of the sector, right? And of course, in here you could see XLK, which is the technology stocks. You can see from here, XLK, let me just bring back, XLK, there you go, technology stocks, which has the strongest 8.4% in the last 3 months. And we haven't even talked about the year. The year is the thing about 30%. Then we have the XLF, which is the financial sector. So these are your banks, your Berkshire Hathaways, your Bank of America, and your JP Morgan. Has done pretty well. XLC are your Netflix, right? And NDX is the Nasdaq, industrial, real estate. S&P 500 is up 3% in here, and then you have XLP in here. So this has been the really strong. Only energy, you can see energy has dropped 9% since the last 3 months because of the even despite the conflict that we see between the Hamas and also the Ukraine war, but all this already been priced in as the market expected to fall further. Even coming from the OPEC cut that they had, the stocks remain to fall lower. So it's important to get the perspective of these stocks. So you can see from here, the XLK, which is the technology stock, part of the VSA 360, and those of you who our member can see this by logging into the VSA 360, and those of you who have not can also catch this part of our VSA 360 offering. You can see it turned red pentagon the last 4 days. So I do believe that the oversold situation has been priced in already, right? That's why we see a red pentagon in here. XLV, the healthcare continue to be up almost 36 bars. Right, XLK, red pentagon for the last 4 days or 4 bars. We have the consumer stable, 52 days, continue to move higher. XLY, which is the discretionary finance, has been up 37 days. So these are very strong, as you can see also on the S&P 500. Let me just show you here. This S&P 500 on top of me, you can see it's being up for 27 bars, 49 days in here. So that's making it very good. In here, and part of it is also the inflation, which we continue to see falling month by month since we had it in August, where we hit about 3.67 here, and then expectation, I do think, for this coming November month will be at least in par of 3.2 in here. So as the inflation price started to drop, petrol prices drops also in US. There's a feel of a good effect, and then consumer sentiment pick up, and that's where we see the Christmas rally that we see many of the continuing buying. So what this normally translates to a better Q4 2023 because of the Christmas buying and all this Walmart, all this will also propel the likelihood of after Christmas, maybe a January 2024 rally in here. But I do think going back to the seasonality, 2024 January will see some profit taking, so watch out for those signs of weakness like upthrust and the 2-bar reversal. Those are very prominent in the coming months in January 2024. Now also let's take a look at the Dow Jones. As you can see so far, the nice up move that we have here, you can see from the situation just get going. It's just started to run up. Remember, we're in the midst of the Christmas rally, break above the 200-day moving average, break through the 36,000 price level in here, all-time high very soon. And again, December, right, the Christmas rally, seasonality, the railway track, which you can see here, the gray and the purple color, which is the 20 and 40, continue to move higher, and it's marching up a little bit. The concern of the lower volume, which is usually expected because the month of December could be a slower month, so a lot of time expectation is there, and that's what we see in January 2024, where the profit taking is to say, hey, the market has run almost 40%, which I did talk about it much earlier. Remember when 2023 we had a very bad year, beginning of end of 2022 we did have a very bad year, but beginning of the first quarter of 2023, I've been telling my members, been telling you, those of you listening in here, usually after a down year, right, then we have a very strong year. And indeed, those who listen to many of our educational tips would have benefited from here, as such that you can see the Dow Jones is only up 9%, but the Nasdaq, which this one I'm going to show you next year, did pretty well, up almost 40%. So you can see from here, lots of resistance that we have. Finally, the market broke through. We got upthrust, another upthrust, another upthrust. These are signs of weakness in here. Managed to break through. So we have another level, which is a 16,300 level for the Nasdaq 100. Breaking through it in here. Middle of the Christmas rally in here, need to break higher, and such that we don't have much of resistance, with lots of good news continuing to back this up. So we are seeing this market in here. But of course, if you are a VSA trader and so forth, you want to watch out for the sign of weakness, which we don't see currently right now for the US market, the weakness in here. A lot of weakness are happening on the KLSE market. So that's why I say that many of you who have diversified out to the US market would have done much better on your portfolio, and also a stronger US dollar in here. I think that's some part of the paradigm shift. I feel that many of our members should start moving over to the US market to benefit from that one too. All right, now looking on the S&P 500, you can see similar story in here, breaking above the 4,600 level, which are important to cover. The free exchange, the Dow Jones, which have a composite mixture of both traditionals like your oil and gas, and also the industrial. I also have a little bit of technology. Then you move on to the S&P 500, which is all your top 500 largest market cap in the US market, followed by Nasdaq, one of the high tech that we've seen on the generative AI, and also Microsoft, Tesla, Google, Meta, and also Facebook, right? So we need to see this market going higher. Expect to see it more so in here. Now, such that we want to look at some of the stage 2 shares in the SmartRobie, since this is a SmartRobie US market in here, and continuation of uptrend. So let's take a look at some of the stocks that we have in here. We have ICE. I do think that ICE actually fall, but AMD has did a good shakeout. All right, let me show you. This was a good shakeout. Show you the chart. So we key in one more time. AMD. Hit the chart here, switching to a wider chart, and you can see on the chart here, did had a nice wash, and this was the wash that we are looking for. It did, remember 27th December we were here, then we are upthrust, the market completely turned, and then on the good results by the semiconductors from, I think from Nvidia came out, and they were much stronger in here, and AMD has a big push. Anybody know why? Because it is pushing. I do think, let's take a look at the news for AMD, if it did pick up in here. Haven't checked it for some time. The new AI chip, that's right, December 9, that fueled the AI rally in here. So that seems to be the bigger market, a challenge to Nvidia. So that's why for those of you who are in the looking the market, the SmartRobie give you that perspective to look beyond just the Malaysia market in here. BA, which is the Boeing, also do pretty well. Hit that one, BA here. And looking at the stock chart, stock comment here. can see BA continued to move very nice from the get-go of the green pentagon, which was on the 30th of November. 30th of November, I think. Yeah, 30th of November, starting to push up all the way up. And this is one of the good stage 2 share. Of course, we started at 27, which is here. Market started to put up, so a nice one for BA. The other one is a Ferrari. You can see from the chart here, using the stage 2 share, Ferrari hit that one and go stock chart, stock comment, started to push up nicely in here too. So you can see, yes, market but did turn red pentagon already. 27, you can see market had a red pentagon, but maybe it will do similar to the AMD that fuel the AI stocks that we see so far. All right, now for this week, we have AMD, we have QCOM, we got Apple too, right? Apple is in the stage 2 shares. You all know that I'm a big fan of Apple, which I do have some stocks on Apple in here. Let's take a look at Apple. Started to also to push up. We also have the financial sector. Remember the sectors that I shared with you early on. The XLK has turned red pentagon, but the finance sectors are moving well. So let's take a look at Apple. Will it hit new high? Apple has a nice pullback, then started to push up in here. I do think that a lot of institutions are pushing up these shares, and then started to go higher. 200 US dollar is possible for the Apple share. If you have it in here, some of you want to take some profit out from Apple, do so in January. Okay, do so in January, right? That's my take for you in here. And if you like, enjoy what we talk about in here, give us a thumbs up in here, some of the share and trade ideas that we have for you, IQCom. So don't forget to subscribe to our daily newsletters, stocks that I talk about and I review in here. All right, and for our Muslim friends, usually we have them a lot. Check out the Sharia US shares ETF HLAT. So that's a website on top here. And what you want to do is just go and download this Excel file here that you see in front of here on this website. And those are the share which is reviewed by the Sharia community, I suppose. That's the sign that you have in here, so you can buy or trade those shares without any concern from a religious standpoint here. So that's for fair. Now let's take a look at the ROVI FA stock. Last week, 2 weeks ago, as I said before, we did talk about virtual, VIRT, VIRT, on the 27th of November. That was a nice setup here. You could see low volume, and then lo and behold, market started to push up and also took out the uptrust, which is a very strong component in here, giving it up 6.4% up for virtual in here, pushing up. So that's really a good thing in here. And for today, the Monday, the 11th of December, we have two stocks, on Semiconductors and Cisco. So the first one is Cisco, which we all know, big maker of the internet router and all things the internet. And one of the reasons why I like this, it pays a pretty decent dividend. And remember, a lot of stocks have started to run up, especially on the technology. This one instead has gone down, so it will provide some sort of support coming in here. And also just turn green pentagon. Remember, Intel had this before. It will take some time before it really rally up, but at least you have something on the slide down. Same also go for On Semiconductors. If you want to check out On Semiconductors, and what you do, just type on and hit that here, and you want to go to stock fundamentals, because that will give you the stocks. And after all, we're talking about FA stocks. Excuse me. You have a PE of 14.6 times, ROE of 33, and pay a 3% dividend, and hit the On Semiconductors, right? So you can see here, they make a lot of automotive solution chips. So I think this is also impacted by the slowdown in some of the EV Tesla cars that we have. Maybe the competition that we see between the BYD and Tesla has driven these stocks to have some sort of a bad reputation, or right now a bad sentiment. But no doubt it started to turn green pentagon. Maybe it will enjoy this thing, but we will come back and review this in 2 weeks time in here. And of course, our best of the stocks that you see here are really pretty much driven by the SmartRobie Pentagon Guider in here, where you see green pentagon will be up signal, red pentagon will be down signal in here doing that. And one of the best way is, you have any of the US stocks, just put it into the watch list, and when you do get the green pentagon, you'll be notified, right, how this market able to go up. And when you go on to the apps under the investment side, you can see there's an alert, green pentagon triggered in here, and then red pentagon. And more importantly is to have the pre-notification on your mobile phone. So turn it on in here, you're able to watch it, freebie for newbie in here. All right. And this is our Monday Robbie Smart Robbie, which we do every second and fourth. And for those of you who have not opened up the US market through our partnership with USmart Singapore, regulated by the MAS in here, check out and open up account NYVJPA. That's a code, and you will get 400 smart credit points in here, and able to use the Smart Robbie apps to power some of your US investment in here. So as a summary, going back to it, the Christmas rally, we are in the midst of it already, as you can see before, in line with the possible, I believe, of a rate cut in March. And the Smart Robbie stocks, like we talk about Cisco and ON Semiconductors, are pretty good. Sentiments are looking very, very positive. Now, if you have any stocks that you want me to look at, feel free to pen it. And let's talk a bit about our CV2 for our premium Trade VSA 360 members who already begin our journey in here. You can still join us, and if you want to know your needs as an investor or trader, check out this bit.ly coin or in the apps that we have here, and we'll just put in a link that you can use it right on the comment section in here. Then you're able to find more about how the VSA 360 can fit you, and especially we are in the nice boom in here. Do yourself a good favor, get some benefits from the stock market in your investment. As you've seen, some of our members who have done so did pretty well in here. Of course, they also put in a hard work in here, and the rest is aligned with the overall stock market. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel in here, right? And also VSA 360 with the great features that we have, great review in here. And if you have any stocks that you want me to look at, do pencil those in. I'm happy to look into that. Alright, if not, thank you for coming and have a good day. I will give you an update also on the podcast for our Telegram chat room in here. And thank you for your support. We appreciate you today. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.